The most exciting things I've done recently is to launch a new master's program called Prosperity, People and Planet. One of the things the IGP has been doing is working in Kenya with the Prosperity Co-Laboratory for Africa, and we've been trying to regenerate a whole range of water towers down one long side of Kenya, collecting a series of forests together. And I realised when we were doing that work that no one was teaching anyone how you would go about this, how you would actually create alternative pathways for prosperity for people who are dealing with the biodiversity and climate crises and their intertwined and very difficult nature. And that's not just about the technical issues of how do you adapt to climate change or how do you do mitigation, but it's actually about the really important point of how do you improve people's quality of life as you do it. In other words, how do you reconceive of the relationship of humans to nature in such a way that it will carry us not only through the whole of the 21st century, but into the 22nd century. And that's why I invited one of the top ecological economists in the world, Professor Robert Costanza. He was the first ecological economist to try to put a figure on the value of natural assets for the globe as a whole. He understands what ecological economics is because he was one of the people who created it. And you can be part of his thinking team on prototyping prosperity. The second professor we've brought into the IGP to teach this extraordinary course is called Kubizewski. Now, Ida has a very specific skill, and that is that she worked with the Wellbeing Alliance to develop a new kind of metric on well-being. She understands how those new metrics get taken up into policy. What is the relationship between policy and science? How you use science to drive change? What evidence really means? How you can make change happen on the ground? And she's done that in communities in the Caribbean, communities in Australia. She's now doing it in communities in Africa and in the UK. Imagine that you have a challenge. You're working perhaps in a national civil service, or perhaps you're working in a sustainability job for a company, or perhaps you're somebody leading a charity, or perhaps you're even a social entrepreneur, and you want to know how you're going to get the tools to allow you to understand how what you do in your job is going to make a difference to the way we look after those natural assets and the way we improve the quality of people's lives. Come to the IGP, and one of the things we'll give you is a whole cohort, draw of people all across the world who'll be working with you. And you won't be working alone as a group of students. You'll be working with my amazing teams who work in Africa, in the Middle East and in the UK on these issues. We're about to start regenerating and planning to do the modelling behind how we will regenerate a whole area of the UK. If you come, for example, from Asia or Latin America and you think you could use those insights at home, then come here, be in the IGP. We'll give you the tools to make the success of what you do next in your job. We'll give you those leadership ideas. And what's more, when you leave the IGP, you'll be part of a cohort of people who've not just learned about something together, but have actually designed something together, applied it to the kind of research we do here. You'll have been in those discussions with all of us, and that is going to make all the difference.